Line Coach Mike Jones. I'm part of a podcast I co-host. Check it out, Boss Up Ball Out podcast. And I just gotta come out and say it. I don't believe in it. I am totally against it. But yesterday's game versus the Minnesota Vikings looked like a tank job. It felt like a tank job. Um, and you know what? There's just nothing that speaks louder than you putting your backup center or your practice squad center as the starter, and then you taking your starting center, okay, and you make him the backup. Graham Glasgow was the backup center yesterday, and he was not on the injury report. That's the first red flag. Um, that's just wow. I don't even know how you could even do that. And that brings a lot of things into question. But let's go on to the game. Let's just break down the game, okay? Um, and just tell me if this makes sense to you, okay? We are the Detroit Lions. I say we because everybody knows if you are a diehard sports fan, it's a we thing, right? It's not a them thing, it's a we thing. Okay. The Minnesota Vikings had 3 total yards of passing yesterday. And that is Max Brosmer completed 9 of 16 for 51 yards, right? But he got sacked 7 times. Salute to the defense that he got sacked 7 times for 48 yards. 50, 48 minus 50, 51 minus 48 is 3. That's how you get the total. How do you beat the number one scoring offense in the NFL with 3 passing yards? That's red flag number 2. Okay? That's red flag number 2. Um, Red flag number 3. The leading rusher. Okay, let's take out Jordan Addison's 1 carry for 65 yards, right? Because that was basically the icing on the cake. Was that one rush 65 yards to the house? Okay, let's take that away. The leading rusher was Aaron Jones, 18 carries for 53 yards, a 2.9 yard average. Wow. Hey, what's up, B3N 2015? What's going on, man? I'm here, man. I'm just trying to understand what happened yesterday because it was unexplainable. You cannot explain. Good morning, LSK or LS Cullies. What's going on, man? Uh, Mary Barker, 1995. How's it going? Um, I'm just trying to figure out what happened yesterday to the Detroit Lions. And a little bit of a recap of what I've already said. How do we lose a game to a team who had 3 total passing yards? Right? How do you lose to a team who leading rusher was Jordan Addison because he had that 1 carry for 65 yards, but Aaron Jones 18 carries for 53 yards. That's a 2.9 yard average a carry. How do we only score 10 points on a must-win elimination game? Can somebody please tell me that? How do we lose a must-win eliminate and he was a backup quarterback. Not only was he a backup quarterback set apart for 20, he was a undrafted quarterback. So, I say, how do you lose to 3 yards of passing? Because he passed for 51, but he got sacked for 48 yards. So, you do the math, that's 3. That's how they do total passing. Okay? So 3 yards of total passing is enough to stop the number one offense in the NFL. It set Thank you. I know, like, a lot of people say that they don't believe in it, set apart 420, but scripted is exactly what I was thinking. Because there's no excuse. You telling me the number one most explosive offense in the NFL can only put up 10 points? One touchdown by a rookie? Where was Amon-Ra St. Brown? Where was Jameson Williams? Where was Jahmyr Gibbs? What was Jared Goff doing yesterday? Jared Goff had 5 turnovers. He had 2 interceptions and he had three forced fumbles. 3 fumbles he lost. Um, Now a few of those fumbles were on Kingsley, but again, why was Kingsley in the game? Graham Glasgow, your starting center, was not on the injury report, but he was on the second string. So what was Graham Glasgow doing on the second string? Oh man, please don't say I. Please don't. Look, I'm the Wolverine. I'm Michigan Wolverines, Detroit Lions. That. I'm not Sharon Moore, man. Like, please don't do that. What's that? Amazon, Muka. Please don't, please don't. But I'm just saying, man. Explain to me how the number one offense in the NFL only puts up 10 points on an elimination game. Can somebody please? I'll wait for you in the chat for somebody to tell me how. How does that happen? How is the only person that gets in the end zone Isaac Tesla? Please. Jahmyr Gibbs don't get in the end zone. Amon-Ra St. Brown don't get in the end zone. Jameson Williams don't get in the end zone. Like, nobody got in the end zone but Isaac Tesla. Come on, man. Like, this, man. And then the thing that makes me even, it upsets me even more was Taylor Decker wasn't playing. Now we all know that Taylor Decker's been dealing with injuries this whole season. Is why I think he's gonna retire in the off season. Do I? Who do I look like from the Avengers movie? Please tell me. Cause I need to do some special guest appearances and get some money. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm actually the co-host of Boss Up Ball Out podcast, the home of Detroit Lions news and rumors. That's what I do, and but this is another side thing. This is a side channel. This is my personal channel. Um, yeah, Chicago is going. Chicago. Now, this would be a very Lions thing to do, and this is Lions of the past. But to come back and beat Chicago, like that would be a Lions thing of the past to do that. But you know what? Honestly, I don't want to win this game against Chicago. I don't, because Brad Holmes needs to get the best center and the best left tackle he can. Period. Because last year, when our defense was ravished with injuries, we leaned on the run game. We couldn't lean on the run game yesterday. The run game was the run. You wanna know what the run game was? Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries for 41 yards. That make you make the face. 17 carries for 41 yards. The Bears aren't gonna leave Chicago. They're not gonna do that. Like, that's they're not leaving Chicago. They won't. They might go for a stadium kind of like on the outskirts, like the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas, they don't play in Dallas, right? They play in Irvington. You know what I'm saying? So they might go to like a little outskirt city, but it's just hard for me to believe that Chicago, which is like the third or fourth most populated city in the U.S., to lose a football team when they are one of the media markets. You know what I'm saying? When they're one of the biggest markets in all of sports. Like, I don't think they'll lose it, but if they lose it, it's because they want to lose it. But going back to this game, like, stat line. Jared Goff, 18 of 29, 197 yards, which is a 6.8 yard per average, one touchdown, two interceptions, sacked 5 times. Mm, mm, mm. Then you want to look at our receivers. Like, there was nothing clutch about this performance at all. There was nothing clutch. Like Amon St. Brown, he had a few drops in that game that was unlike him. Actually, he's had a few games where he's played unlike himself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know like what is going on with that, but Isaac Tesla, the second leading receiver with 3 catches for 49 yards. Jamison Williams, 2 catches for 37 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 catches for 23 yards. David Montgomery, 2 catches for 15 yards. Khalif Raymond, 1 catch for 5 yards. And that's it. That's it. Shout out, but you know what? I'm gonna say shout out to the defense. Okay? We turned the ball over 6 times. And they only gave up 23 points. So hats off to the defense. Cause we were like, we have to win despite our defense. And it was not winning despite our defense. It was winning despite the fact the offense put up 10 freaking points, man. How does the number one offense in NFL put up 10 points? And then on an elimination game, y'all playing for y'all playoff hopes, y'all playoff dreams, y'all playoff lives, and y'all put up 10 points. That's why this is called, was it a tank job? That's why. Because there's no, like the Minnesota Vikings were very good against the pass. Very good against the pass. They were not that good against the run. They were like middle of the pack against the run. And we could not run the ball. Like, besides Jared Goff's scramble, we had 17 carries for 66 yards. 17 carries for 66 yards. Wow. Wow. Like, I just don't know, man. Like, did Brad Holmes call this in? Like, did Brad Holmes call this in? Maybe because he doesn't hit very well when lines are toward the end of the draft. You know, the last 2 drafts, the Lions have missed out on a lot of picks. You know, and it's not like we're turning our back, or I'm turning my back on Brad Holmes. It is at the beginning of the season and through the season, I give Brad Holmes the right of way. Like, I give Brad Holmes deserves that. Brad Holmes deserves the nod. He's earned that. Okay? But when the season comes to an end and you look back at the season, you're like, dang, that 3rd round pick a couple years ago that we wasted on Broderick Martin, a project, that could have been useful. You know, you look at the Giovanni Manu, right? That could have been a contributor. That would have been useful. And you just start looking at stuff, and then it starts to make you go back and question, because I give Brad Holmes the right of way. You know what I'm saying? All fans should give Brad Holmes the right of way to say, you know what? We're going to let this play out. The man took us to an NFC championship. Well, not he, but he drafted for NFC championship. He drafted for a number 1 seeded team. So why wouldn't you give Brad Holmes a grace and allow him to let this play out? But at the end of the day, now when you look back, you like, we have to hit on these picks. Like, no more project picks, Brad. Okay, no more project picks. And another thing, one last thing I'm gonna say about Brad Holmes, because he's done a very good job. He's made the Lions relevant, but you have to make trades during the season. You cannot be a GM and just say you're good at the draft, because that makes you an advanced scouting personnel. You're the GM of the Detroit Lions. So that means you have to nail it in the draft, nail it in free agency, and do whatever has to be done at the trade deadline to take your team over the top. You can't just do it in the draft. Okay? So, that's one part where Brad can go, okay, he can look back and go, okay, I drafted kind of okay. I have to do more on free agency. Okay, he can look at it like I should have did more at the trade deadline, because the Detroit Lions were a destined spot. I don't care what nobody says about, oh well, you can't make people come to the Detroit. You can. That's very true. But the Detroit were a destined destination. Like I did that. Detroit Lions were a destined destination. You could get a number of free agents that could have came in and helped your team, but you didn't because you want to save money for these contracts you got to put out. And Brian, you can't keep a whole team that you drafted just because you drafted them. So they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. They have to sit down. We have to look at this thing and figure out what do we need to do. I'm gonna tell you right now, from my eyes, the eye test yesterday, we need a left tackle and we need a center. We need a left tackle and we need a center. We need a center first, right? But if Taylor Decker retires, then we need a left tackle. Or actually, Penei Sewell can slide over to left tackle. Now we need a right tackle, right? Because if Decker retires, Sewell's going to go to left tackle. We're going to need a right tackle and a center. So, those are priorities. Because you got to realize something. We were 15-2 last year with our defense in shambles because we leaned on that running game. We need an offensive line. And that basically is the reason why the game went the way it did. Because Jahmyr Gibbs, 17 carries for 41 yards, ain't going to cut it, bro. It's not going to cut it, bro. David Montgomery, 10 carries for 25 yards. That's not going to cut it, bro. It's not. It is not. Giving up 5 sacks on Jared Goff. It's not going to cut it, bro. Having our practice squad center start over Graham Glasgow, who is not on an injury report, is not going to cut it, bro. It's not. It's not. 68 yards, 49 yards, 37 yards, 23 yards, 15 yards, 5 yards. Those are the amount of yards that were gained by every player who made the stat sheet in receiving. 68 yards was the max by Amon-Ra St. Brown. In an elimination game. Man, I don't know, man. But it smelled like a tank job to me. It smelled like a Brad Holm engineered tank job. Because Dan Campbell, you can see how emotional he was in the presser. Dan Campbell didn't tank like that. That wasn't Dan Campbell's thing. Dan Campbell, that's not even in his DNA to do that. That smells like that was kind of Brad Holmes kind of like, look, man, it's a little bit harder to hit at the end of this draft, man. If we we went out and we picking 20 something, like 25, 26. It's a little bit harder to hit these draft picks. So let's get in at 16 or 17 and and let's rebuild. What's up, Lauren Vander Esch, my fellow Port Huron mate? I'm talking about yesterday, man. The game yesterday looked like a tank job. And you can tell me if you think I'm tripping. I mean, I'm not saying he did, but it's a possibility. Man, because you know Dan Campbell's not gonna do that. Right? That's not even in Dan Campbell's DNA to do that. Now, I'm searching for an explanation. Like, I don't think it's in Dan Campbell's um, DNA. But you got to think about it. These last 2 drafts where the Detroit Lions won the NFC Championship, and they were the #1 seed in the NFC. How many draft picks has Brad hit on now that we're in the Now that we're in the back end of the draft. And oh, why was Graham Glasgow not playing? He was not on the injury report, but he was second string to Kingsley, the practice squad center. The practice squad center? Come on, man. That's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, this is a 10 job. And then, too, Lauren, I know you watch the Lions. The Lions are the number one offense in the NFL. How do we only score 10 points on the brink of elimination? How? How is that even possible? The only one who got in the end zone was the rookie Isaac Tesla. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. It just it looked like they was tanking to me. It looked like they had their tickets booked to Cairo, and they was like, man, we need to chill. Like we've been kind of in the playoffs the last 2 years, and we haven't really had that long of an off season, and we just want to rest. That looked like a we just want to rest type of game. Like we just want to chill. Like we tired of basically winning and have, you know what I'm saying? Like our Bart 91. I'm telling you, and you know what? And I may be, you know, and I'm probably wrong about it being scripted, and they was like, you know, let's just call it a, you know, a season, but that's what it looked like. That is what it looked like to me. The number one offense in the NFL, and nobody got in the end zone besides Isaac Tesla, the rookie. Not Jamo, not St. Brown, not Gibbs, not Montgomery, not even golf on the QB sneak. You know what I'm saying? Isaac Tesla. I can't make this shit up, man. We scored 10 points on the brink of elimination game. 10 points. Wow. I don't know, man, but I just had to voice my frustrations, man, because I just don't get it. I don't get it. I know the O line was not together, but hey, they had a lot of injuries too. Like they had a lot of injuries as well. They had a lot of guys that did not play in that game. Like, uh, like I don't believe like T.J. Hockenson didn't play in the game. Let's see. Let's recap real quick. Who all did not play in that game for the Minnesota Vikings? Because yeah, here we go. Right here, I got the injury report. Actually, that was the day before. They had quite a few guys that did not play. So and so I just don't understand, man. I don't get it. But hey, man, it is what it is. I guess they're gonna get the long off season like they wanted. I know I'm not calling out, you know, St. Brown and them, but he was like, man, this is BS. We got to play on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Well, now you get to like enjoy yourself and relax and have a good off season, because a good full long off season, because um it's over, bro. And since they lost the game, now I personally want them to tank this last game. They thank you, our Bart 91. It looked like they gave up. It did. It did. And it disgusts me, man. As a guy who has been to so many Lions games, who spent money on so many Lions, who was a season ticket holder the first year of the Dan Campbell era, Brad Holmes era, who's been watching the Lions faithfully since the 90s. It just did not look good. And it didn't look like they wanted to play. If it wasn't a tank job, it looked like they didn't want to play. They were on the brink of elimination. Like, you're on the brink of elimination, and you only put up 10 points? I have a question. Who do you think was the best blitz in football? You mean the best person to blitz in football? Ooh, that's real hard, man, because blitz all comes on scheme. Blitzing is scheme related. Um, yeah, blitzing is scheme related. It's all really that would be on the defensive coordinator, kind of like what he would call to open it up to send a blitz. Yeah, so yeah, because blitzing is scheme related. Blitzing is not an instinct thing. We're like, oh, I'm gonna go in and blitz because then you're gonna leave your the middle wide open. So who's the best quarterback in football right now? I would say Matt Stafford. I would say Matt Stafford. He is probably the best QB in football right now. Um, Josh Allen. Yeah, I mean you can say that, but you know what? I would say Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is just never. He's never had the best ever. Ooh, ooh, shit. um, ooh, the best skilled. I have to say Joe Montana. Joe Montana is the best. Um, Never had a team run him since Diggs. What about the best running back ever? Barry. Barry, come on, man. It gotta be Barry got to be the best running back ever. By far. Like there's not even a question about that. Who's the best running back ever? Like, it's Barry Sanders. Now you wanna go to the best receiver ever? Best receiver? Man, man, Randy Moss is up there. Jerry Rice is up there. Yeah, OJ was one. OJ is top. I would say OJ is the top 3 or 4 running back all time. And it sucks about what happened with OJ, but he's a top 3 or 4 running back all time in NFL. Like you can't say all because of what happened in the whole OJ Simpson trial and stuff like that. He's not. He is right. He's top 3 or 4 all time. So I mean, let's just keep it real. Um, Top receiver. Oh, can I do 1A and 1B? Cause 1A 1A would have to be Jerry Rice, and then 1B would have to be Randy Moss, and then number 2 would be Calvin. Yeah, yeah, Calvin Johnson would be number 2. That's after my 1A and 1B. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, yeah. I mean, yeah. But you gotta understand too. Jerry Rice was a technician. Jerry Rice wasn't the fastest dude in the NFL. Odell was up there for a couple years, but his longevity, you know what I'm saying? His longevity kind of made it so, you know, injuries, man. There's a lot of great receivers that got injured, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. What's up, Lauren? Yeah, man. I'm just about to wrap this up, man. People that they was asking me who that I feel was the best quarterback, running back, and receiver of all time. So I just had to kind of share that real quick. But all in all, man, I'm like I'm a football coach, right? I'm a high school varsity football coach. I am a boxing trainer, so I don't believe in tanking. Like that's like you going down with the smoke. Like you gonna have to drag me out of the ring, and you gonna have to beat my ass on a football field. Period. And it felt like a tank job yesterday to me. It looked like they were not. Hey, nice chatting with you too, R Bart 91. Go Bills, go Lions. Hey, I feel you, man. I was around when Buffalo lost all those Super Bowls. Like I still remember I was on the tail end of it. I was on not the New York Giants when they lost. But I was in the end when they lost to Dallas. Um, yeah, they just yeah, yeah. But man, it looked horrible. Man, it looked horrible. I can't even. The Lions only put up 10 points on the elimination game. That's hard for me to wrap my mind around. 10. I don't know, man. It's the Wolf Line coach Mike Jones. Peace.